Well, welcome to Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas, Season 4. Well, this season I decided to cook up something a little bit different. We're going to focus on an art room makeover. It's my art room in my house. I decided to kind of change it up a little bit, and we're going to install some Elfa shelves and organize and just give you some ideas in case you have an art room in your house or a craft room. We're also what I want to do is lose some weight this year, so I decided to look into Snap Kitchen. Snap Kitchen, they create these prepared meals that are really, I heard, really good, and they're organic and gluten-free, and it's keto inspired. And so I'm going to take a look at that and maybe even try their 21-day challenge to see how much weight I can lose in 21 days. And we're also still going to do some cooking, some of my home cooked meals, a lot of the recipes that I got from my mom and that I created along the way and was inspired by some others. And we're also going to focus a little bit on the holidays, especially when it gets to Thanksgiving and Christmas time. And so let's get cooking. Our very first show is a art room, craft room makeover, so stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back to Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas. So today, like I said, we're going to create an art room makeover or do an art room makeover. And what I decided to do along this wall over here, which I'm going to show you in just a second, I decided to install some Elfa shelves, and I bought these at the Container Store. And the instructions, I read through the instructions, and they seem fairly simple. The designer at the Container Store, she was telling me how easy they are to install. And so I'm going to give it a shot and let you know exactly how easy it was and show you the finished product. I also am going to show you some of the things that I kind of reorganized and redid in my art room. This room is really a hodgepodge of many different things. I have IKEA furniture, I have furniture that I got at World Market, and nothing really, to be quite honest, matches or goes really well together, but since I'm on a budget, I have to make it work for myself. And yes, it would be great to have, let's say Closets by Design or some company come out and design this craft room and give me something like really awesome. Hint, hint, that would be great. But for right now, I just got to make do with what I have. And I am an artist. I do artwork on the side. I am an art teacher. So not only do I love to cook, but I create art, and also I'll have a lot of hobbies, to be quite honest, that I do. But anyway, we're going to focus on this art room, and we're going to start by installing some Elfa shelves. So stay tuned. Okay, so I'm back, and so let me tell you what I've done so far. It's been about 40 minutes, and basically all this time I just put up the top rack. Now, you have to read through the instructions, a couple of things you have to have, and they tell you all the materials you need, but you definitely need a drill. You cannot do this without a drill. You will need a 1/8 drill bit, and you're also going to need a 3/8 drill bit, the big one. Now, when I drill into walls, I'm always really, I'm a nervous Nelly because I'm afraid something's going to happen, it's going to mess up the drywall. But if you take your time, you measure things out, you need a leveler. It's very important that you have a level like this. So you want to make sure that it's totally level. You don't want a crooked shelf going up. And you have to make sure that you space them apart. It's a little hard for one person to do, I must admit, because I was holding up the rod and trying to level it at the same time, so it was a little difficult. So if you have two people to do this, it'll go a lot faster and a lot easier. But like I said, I got the top rod up. I'll show it to you with the camera. So that's basically what it looks like, and it's just right above my IKEA system that I have there. Now, all the stuff that I have on top, I am going to take off, rearrange, fix up, and but I do need a lot of things that are on there because that's where I store my paints, my watercolors, my acrylics, chalk pastels, all those art supplies, and also a drying rack, because if I do a painting, I need a drying rack. So that's a pretty large drying rack for this room, but it's the only one I could find. But anyway, I'm gonna continue putting up my shelves, and when I come back, hopefully the whole thing will be done and we'll talk about it, so stay tuned. Okay, so next what I wanted to show you is how we hang these rods. This is where the shelves are going to be attached to, and these are really easy to put on this track up here. So they have these little grooves on top. You could enter them from the sides, but you also have these little grooves on top and you just slide it in. So these will all slide, but we want to keep them first together so we can line up our shelves and make sure everything is right, and then we can add the brackets to help support the shelves. So when we come back, that'll be done. Okay, so we have one more shelf to put up, and it's really pretty cool, and you get like a lot of satisfaction when you're doing it. It's like really cool. But anyway, I have one more shelf and I wanted to show you. They label it really nicely, like it has end front right here, lets you know where it's supposed to be. These little brackets here that are on these shelves, one thing that you have to remember when you're at the end, the brackets need to go inwards, and then if it's in the middle, it goes outwards. So that's something for you to think about. But let me put up my last shelf here. And notice I just have a step stool. If you have a step stool, that's great, or if you have a step ladder. And basically, you just put it in the bracket right there. And they have these little notches, and you just kind of tap it on there, and there you go. There's my last shelf. I think it looks pretty cool. Woohoo! So I have a nice little organization system there, thanks to Elfa. And I'm gonna add some of the last details to my shelving. For instance, these are like to kind of camouflage the bracket up there. So I'm gonna be putting those up. And then the fun stuff, I'm gonna be putting all my tubs and everything up there and organizing. So when we come back, we'll see the final result of my updated craft room. So stay tuned. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to show you, what I really liked what the designer did, she suggested that my rods, instead of coming down, because I told her I have these pieces that are kind of high up, and instead of ending it here, the rods, they're just gonna stop right where this IKEA furniture begins. So I like that idea in case, let's just say one day I don't need this drying rack or this. I can, put more shelves or some different types of organizers, because they come with a lot of different attachments to the Elfa system. I'm really super excited about this right now, and I didn't even fix it up yet. So as you can see, this is my drying rack that I have for when I do a painting. So I'm gonna put that right there. Notice it fits really nicely, nice shelf, distance from the shelf. I think that looks really good. And I'm gonna start fixing it up, so stay tuned. Guys, welcome back to Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas. So today we have completed our Elfa shelf system in the art/craft room. This art craft room is nothing fancy. It's there's a lot of craft rooms out there and art rooms that are very polished and look very well put together. Mine is a hodgepodge of different furniture, different things, because I'm on a budget, and so I just had to make it all work together. So yes, it would be nice to have something from the Container Store, one of those places, to put in a nice craft room, but you gotta work with your budget. And so let's take a look at what I have here. So the Elfa shelf system, love it. I believe, like I said, it came to, I think, $290 without tax. And I love how it looks. It is purposeful and it really works for me. So it wasn't hard to install. The toughest part was putting the top track system up there, because I was by myself. But if you have someone helping you, it becomes a lot easier. But look at all that storage I'm able to put up there. And let's talk about some of that storage too. So right over here, let's start on this end. I have a toolbox here that has just your basic tools. You want that in your craft room. You want maybe a leveler, pencils in the toolbox for easy access, and then of course you have your hammer, your screwdrivers, a wrench, and I have some drill bits in there too with some screws and nails and those kinds of things. So that's in my little toolbox here. So you definitely want a little toolbox in your art room or craft room. And then this is where I keep my drill. And then this is, I have my hole punches here, my paper hole punches in this tub over here. So I keep it all together in one area, easy for access, easy to know where everything is. This little thing I have over here is this holds ribbon. I got this at the Container Store. I thought it was cute. Just really small, but for some of that extra ribbon that I have, I thought it would be a good idea to store it in there. I have these tubs back here that don't have anything in them yet, but these are really for like odds and ends and different things that I'll be doing when I start getting to work. There's the Scream, of course. And this is where I keep my Mod Podge and some spray adhesives, those kinds of things in this box here. Of course, you can see everything is labeled. This is my acrylic paint markers, easy access, some paint brushes there. I really like this little storage system. I think I got this at, I want to say Home Goods, but I bought 2 of them and I labeled it. This is where I keep my Velcro, push pins, staples, paper clips, tape measure, rubber bands, floral wire tape, those kinds of things. Some more paint brushes there and here. This is these containers here. I got these at Michael's. These are plastic containers. I keep my buttons in there. Some string, and there's some beads back there. Here's my jute twine. Keep my jute twine over here, and some wooden rounds. Those were the Christmas ornaments that I was making. So I keep that in there. These are just random desk items I keep in a tub. This system here, this is really meant for paper, but I just have random things like coffee filters when I do certain things for crafts, and aluminum foil and pipe cleaners and paper and crayons and manila paper and different random things that are in these containers. But like you can see where they are, see where it is, easy access. Here's some more paper here, cardstock. Try to separate it by colors the best I could. Keep some of my paints over here, my bigger jars of paints there. These are my watercolor paints, liquid watercolor. And just some random art supplies in here. This drying rack, since I do painting, I need a drying rack in my art room. So this one fits nicely underneath the shelving there. And then this container here. This is where I keep all my art paints, my watercolors, acrylics, oil pastels, chalk pastels, clay tools, and paint sticks. So easy access, everything is labeled. And of course, speaking of labels, this is my label maker, and I need a place, of course, for your label maker. And then staples, more staples and glue sticks. Here I keep some of my deco mesh ribbon and my felt down here in this drawer. So, and then there's some batting down there. And then in these, all these baskets from IKEA, this is an IKEA system. I just have a lot of stuff in them that I use for artwork and crafts and those kinds of things. So it's just a mix of different things that are in there. Over here, this piece of furniture I got at World Market. I really like it. This is where I keep, let's say, my glue gun. These are crayons when I'm doing projects for school. Markers, X-Acto knives, notepads. So it's a nice little table where I can still store things, and there's my cold laminator down there. And I keep my wrapping paper in these baskets here, easy access, and then my idea board right over there. And up there I just have some, different things like extra colored paper, some fabric remnants there, paint brushes, those kinds of things I use for painting and other things. Over here on this side, this is my kind of like my work area. So if we look at this, these boxes I got at IKEA too. So I like them. This is for craft paper, scrap paper, embellishments, random art supplies. I keep some of my magazines and things like that in there. And then decorative stuff. I have all my artists up here. And then I got this unit at Michael's. I got these at Michael's. Nice. I really like this a lot because I can keep my ribbons here and just easy access to pull them off and cut what I need, and my scissors and some pens and all those things that you need to create. This piece here, I got at Michael's too. Once again, it houses my, let's say, my bone folders and rotary cutters and scissors and some of my craft scissors and other things like that. I keep a hammer in here too, so easy access, even that I have one in my toolbox. And of course my tape and, you know, double-sided tape, those kinds of things. This unit here, down here, if you can see that, that's called a boom unit, and that's where I keep my markers, colored pencils, Sharpies, and pencils, random things, my pencil sharpeners back there, and other things. Down here, I keep some of my punches and some craft items down there. Garbage can, of course, is super important. And this is a paper cutter. I have two of them. This unit here is from IKEA, and then this is where I keep my tissue paper, other types of paper, and construction paper, and measuring tools, those kinds of things. And this, I believe I got at Home Goods too. I can't remember where I got this, but I think it was Home Goods. And so I keep some of my extra ribbon there, easy access. I can see what colors and grab what I want. And so this is my little work area there, nice long table. And so I'm really happy with the space and what I've done. Before it had the table coming in the middle of the room, and I really like, let me open the door here. I really like that when you look at the room, you see on one side is the work area and the other side is kind of like my storage area. So it's probably about a 12 by 12 room, and it really works well for me. So if you're thinking about putting in shelving, once again, I highly suggest the Elfa system at the Container Store. One thing that I really liked about the Container Store, you work with a designer, they figure it all out for you as far as measurements and what you need. Super easy that way, it doesn't cost you anything. And they give you a nice envelope here with all the information for installation. And you know, it's fairly easy to read, there's nothing hard about it. Tells you exactly, they even give you a picture and shows you the measurements, the shelves, where they should go, the brackets, how it should be put in. And the lady was very nice at the store, and she just walked me through everything. And I told her I'm not really that great with a drill or doing those kinds of things, but she said if she can do it, then anyone can do it. And I tell you, if I can do it, anyone can do it. So, but getting back to this, look how cool. So they have all the different hardware you need, and tells you everything, all the supplies that you need, and tells you the steps on how to do it. So like I said, it took about, like I said, almost an hour and a half, figured 2 hours maybe. So you have a nice wall unit of shelving and for all that organization. So highly suggest it. So hopefully you enjoy that. So happy cooking, everybody, and let's cook up something else for next time. Stay tuned.